You know what? Since I'm from Germany, I'm just going to give you a couple seconds to write out that comment about politics if you want. Are you happy? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hi, my name is TJ Neku, and I haven't posted a video in 7 months. So I wanted to try out like a new format where I just talk about some things, put on some furry background, like some furry speed paint, I don't even know, some anime shit, put that in there, and then talk about some things. Well, to start it off with, I wanted to talk about my experience of getting rejected from art university. Spoiler alert, I didn't really take it very well, which is why I've kind of been a bit more withdrawn lately. Well, if you know me personally, I guess. So, to explain my situation, so I'm an illustrator. I do all kinds of art, but mostly I do illustration, or I have been for the past 5 to 6 or 7 years. So I went to art school for that. I went to art school to study illustration. It wasn't like a college, it was more like it's like a school apprenticeship. In Germany it's called schulische Ausbildung. And I did that, and I went to school for like 3.5 to 4 years, and I got a certificate in illustration, so to speak. So I guess I can call myself an illustrator, which, ever since that, I went on to just, go part-time jobbing and work on my little business, YouTube content creation, Twitch art market commission bullshit on the side. Well, it's not bullshit, but all that jazz. I did that for, 2 years now, and lately I was thinking that, there's still a lot that I can learn. I'm 22 now, so there's still a lot that I'm willing to learn as well, broaden my perspective a bit. So I decided to try my luck at applying to art universities that are located in my cities. So in Germany, the universities are kind of like this, that you have public universities that are really cheap to attend. So instead of paying monthly, you just pay like a semester fee, and the public ones have like a semester fee of like $300, and that includes like a ticket to be able to take every short distance bus and train in the entirety of Germany. So it's a pretty good deal, where I'm located, we have 2 of those, 2 like public art universities, whereas the private universities are sort of really shit, because you pay like 300 to 400 to 700 or more bucks a month, and the quality of the classes just is not up to par with what you're actually paying for. So, everybody's trying to get into the public universities, but where I'm located, they don't really offer like an illustration degree. So I settled for visual communications, because illustrations is a building block of that, or a pie chart slice of that whole shtick. And I was thinking, since I've been focusing so much on storytelling and illustration and turning my emotions and narratives and messages into visual art, I thought, why not? So, the first school that I applied to, it looked really cool. Like, I took like a little stroll around campus. I felt really at home. And so I really wanted to just try. I just wanted to try. And, my just wanting to try turned into a 3 to 5 month grueling portfolio stress situation where I was just like, up at night, I was like, I have to work on my portfolio or I will burn in hell, and I will fail and I will die. So I wasn't very chill about it, if I'm gonna be honest. And I put a lot of effort into my portfolio. I kind of gathered everything I've worked on for the past, 2 to 3 years. Actually, I didn't put in anything older than like 3 years. So ever since I left art school, I just, put my best works out there, and I feel like I did have like a bit of a variety, But, you know, in terms of stylistic choice, I was, of course, sort of limited to what I know and what I've been doing for the past couple of years. And I put myself out there, you know. I had some paintings. I had a whole 24-page comic draft in my portfolio. And then I also had a couple comics, a couple like short animatics, some illustrations, some design work. And when I sent off my application, I was of course very worried, but overall I think I did everything that I was able to do with what I had, or maybe not. In hindsight, I don't know. It wasn't just that I was working on my portfolio, but that was also around Christmas time. And since I celebrate Christmas, it was also kind of stressful because around Christmas and New Year's and also my birthday at the end of the year, there was a lot of shit just coming up. I wanted to relax as well, but it was just the portfolio just like hammering on my mind day and night. But I put out my portfolio. I waited for a month. The reason I wanted to attend university, I had a couple good reasons, right? I wanted to learn and broaden my perspective. I wanted to meet people, you know, socialize, find people who are maybe even in the same sort of niche as me. Friends. I wanted to make friends. Sue me. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to learn. I just have a lot of fun learning. I just want to learn new perspectives. A lot of stuff that I know is just self-taught or just sort of limited to what I'm interested in, what I've taught myself, what I have been taught in art school maybe, which is sort of and then, you know, I enjoy the process of learning. Like I study Japanese for fun and I learn guitar every day. It's like I enjoy the act of learning. I wanted to learn. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to maybe do an exchange semester abroad because I would love to go to Japan or somewhere. I want to get out. I want to grow. I just want to grow. I'm so young. I want to learn. I want to grow. That's really what I wanted to do. So when that rejection came, it didn't just feel like, oh, okay, I got rejected, I'll just try again next year. It felt like I've failed myself. I failed as an artist, as a human being. Oh man, it sounds really dramatic, but it felt like a personal fucking attack, which is really not how I wanted to take it. But it's just, I feel like I maybe just put up too much hope into this application, into this one and very first art school application or art university application I put out, that it was just so crushing when that rejection eventually came. It's not the only school I'm applying to, but you know, since there's only 2 schools in my city, I'm applying to both. So I'm going to take the feedback, I'll talk about that in a second. The feedback that I got for my first portfolio, I'm going to apply that to my second portfolio, adjust and maybe add a bit more variety and think it through a bit more. I'm going to see where that second application goes. Maybe I'll do like an update video on it or something. The feedback that I received for my portfolio was sort of lackluster because I didn't actually receive a feedback from the people that were reviewing all the portfolios, but I got a feedback from the student counseling. It was sort of like, it didn't really feel like she took a lot of time actually looking at my stuff, but she saw that my art was inspired in terms of stylistic choices by, you know, anime and manga and that sort of pop culture. And she saw my comic project and she saw like the stylistic representation of it. And not really the messages behind it or how I presented it, but just like surface level, like, oh, you're inspired by anime, so, you know, that kind of stuff just isn't enough for this sort of university degree or whatever, which, you know, in some parts I can understand that, but it also felt sort of hurtful because I feel like I can do it. Like, I can do these things. It's just, I don't know, I felt like I just didn't get like a chance for people to kind of look beyond that and see that there are like values that I'm trying to, or like messages, or like, you know, I'm trying to communicate visually, but I don't know, maybe they wanted to be me to be like more corporate or conforming to like other styles. And you know, I did put all of that in there, but it's just, I feel like maybe I just wasn't really given the time of day. I felt like I had really good chances to like at least get into the second round. So when that, you know, rejection came, it was just kind of shit. And then the weeks after I got rejected, it's been a couple weeks now, and I've had a lot of time to kind of go through the motions. Like it was sort of like a grieving process, and I think I'm still sort of in it and kind of getting out of it now. But I just felt so shit about myself. I felt like it was like a personal failure, and you know, I just kind of hopeless really, because I had all these expectations. You know, that was really disappointing, and I guess I just had a bit of an unhealthy coping with it. I think I just kind of got into a depressive episode because of it. You know, it sounds so severe, and it felt really severe, honestly. I started questioning myself. I started questioning my art, and I started questioning just everything about my life really, because I just felt so inadequate. You gotta understand that maybe if you see my other videos, art is sort of something that has been my lifeline. You know, of course I enjoy doing art, but it has also been like a major like coping mechanism for me. And also a huge sense of myself was based on, or is based on, my ability to do things. So my ability of being good at art is sort of what my ego was, you know, balanced on, which is not a very stable foundation. And you know, when that got kicked over like that, I felt so crushed under the weight of it all. If I get rejected for something that I'm supposed to be good at, it's like it feels like I'm not good enough. That's what it felt like to me. And you know, I'm just trying to be honest about that experience. I feel sort of stupid about it, but that's just how it is, you know? But yeah, basically, I got rejected from art university, and I had a identity crisis. So what did I do right after getting rejected? I did my business registration like the same evening. I did a business registration, which was not something I decided on a whim. Actually, it was something I had planned for a couple months now. I'm doing like art markets and stuff this year, and currently I'm preparing designs for keychains and stuff, and I got a new printer. Thanks to my mom for dishing out a bit of money for me to buy a new printer, which is going to be a valuable asset for me to be able to print my stickers and my postcards at home. I did my business registration, which, you know, I just felt like I wanted some control over the situation. But like, I can't go to this school this year. I gotta start hustling. I gotta do art markets. I gotta do YouTube videos. I gotta do Twitch streams every day from dawn to dusk. And I gotta get rich, and I gotta I don't know, my brain just jumps to these sort of conclusions and puts a lot of pressure on myself, really. So, you know, I hope you understand why I've been a bit quiet on this channel. And if you're new on this channel, my goal for this year is to sort of, you know, just be a bit more authentic and maybe not so much perfectionistic. What I noticed from this rejection as well is that I have so many expectations that I put on myself, and it's been really difficult to deal with all that pressure because it really is just internal. There's no like group of goblins knocking on my door threatening to kill me if I don't produce content or stream or make my art stuff. And the goal in which I opened this channel was to have fun with what I do, and it hasn't been fun at all, actually. I'm just trying to be a bit more human and see where that goes. So yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do my art markets this year. And I'm going to stream. I'm just gonna do things that are fun for me. I've been putting so much pressure on myself, it hasn't been fun. And so I'm trying to pull myself out of there, you know. I'm trying to make a video talking about it to kind of just get it over with, you know. There's still another school that I want to apply for. I'm gonna see where that goes. If it works out, it works out, and if it doesn't work out, then, you know, maybe it just wasn't what was right for me. And, you know, some friends have said that to me. I'm really grateful for my friends who've been like supporting me lately, because it's been really difficult, if I'm gonna be honest. You know, if you are going through something similar, please feel free to share. I know that I'm certainly not alone in going through it. And, you know, when you go on Reddit, it's like the first couple comments you see, it's like, don't go into politics now. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like, I'm experiencing this soul-crushing, like, self-doubt, identity crisis, and there's people making jokes about f***ing Hitler. Like, get it out of here. I don't want to hear it. And like, by the 157,000th time, it's not funny anymore. If you're going through something like this, you know, feel free to share. You're not alone. I certainly wasn't alone, even though I really felt really isolated lately. So I'm trying to share this in the hopes that I can move on better from this experience that I had. You know, it was an experience. It wasn't a very pleasant experience, but it was an experience, and I'm going to take that and move forward with it. And I hope that someone who sees this can also feel a bit better about themselves, maybe, or maybe feel a bit more encouraged to try again and keep looking forward and finding your place. Maybe not putting all your eggs in one basket like I did. Maybe if the other school works out, I'll give you an update. You know, I'll give you an update. If not, I'll just be a businesswoman. Just be a fucking freelance illustrator, YouTube, Twitch businesswoman. Why not? So yeah, I guess see you in the next one. Hi, Mabel. My cat says hello. Mabel. Mabel, you want to say hi? Hi. Hi, Mabel. Come here. Hi, Mabel. This is Mabel. She's very cute. Hi, Mabel. Wow, that really threw me off. Now I'm not sure what I was talking about. Oh, you're so cute. Okay, you can go. Mabel. Thank you. I know